Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Go Mode podcast mentor tournament. Today, we get to see a four-way race between the persons or the runners eliminated first in the bracket stages, but they've come together and organized a race to duke it out for the places 5 to 8. Bringing you to you today will be me, that is Ralen Tankir, as well as LadyBoxthief here on the commentary. Hello.
Hello, glad to be here. Glad to be able to commentate for these four runners. I'm really looking forward to this match. We've got four really good runners today putting this together. Excited to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, for sure. Unlike the earlier races or the usual races of this tournament, these runners today won't have a mentor for their assistants, as getting four mentors ready for this race would have been a little bit of a struggle, and
just would not have worked.
Yeah. Also, now they can now they have the chance to show what they actually learned from their mentors and how they fare without them.
Yeah, it's almost like a full circle kind of thing here, where we're coming back to we're just kind of doing it on our own here. Time to show off what we've learned and see who gets 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place respectively here.
Yep, and we should start off soon. So I hope we get an exciting race.
Looks like we're off. We're already seeing some divergence. Looks like Vertz was the only one who's going to start at Sanctuary today.
Yep, only getting a small key, I believe. So not the bombs you hope for, but oh, apparently Blackwax also straying from the path that would usually lead you to Uncle first, heading straight up for Kakariko the south way, as we have a 8 bomb pack on the tier 1 triple.
Looks like we've got both Senen and Zeitnix both going to see what Uncle's got, what we've got back here for us. Uncle's got bombs.
Yeah, so that's what you usually want to see early on, some bombs, so that you can check all of Kakariko at once.
Ooh, and a power glove back there too.
Ooh. Yeah, Vert has given us a little check on Lumberjack. I did not fully catch it, but I believe it to be a big 20, so just a red rupee sitting there. Again, not required for an item so far.
And Blackwax checking their race game. Looks like just bombs, so I'm guessing we'll probably be skipping that with all four runners today.
No real reason to get those. And a hard container on the library, so that one as well does not really need to be picked up, as while more health is still not a bad thing, we should pick up plenty in the seed on the way.
Nothing really noteworthy here. It looks like in Lost Woods, just a big 20 and I believe arrows in the drop, so nothing too exciting there.
And we will get to see Kakariko from both sides today, as we got already the tavern and the chicken hut with the lamp. Early lamp, something you not always are that happy to see, as it does make an Aga one more likely, but with the gloves we found, we have already a way up to the Death Mountain.
And Vert's just finding flippers there in Blind's hut.
So, ooh,
Silvers too.
Those are some very shiny arrows. Of course, we still need to find the bow, but if we do, we have already a pretty strong weapon to our disposal. It never hurts to find those servers early.
Blackwax also did find Bombos, looks like, down in Cackwell, so good to know.
One of our 3 medallions. We will see if it will be needed to either open up Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, or maybe we will even need it to get a fire rod out of Ice Palace. Who knows? But we will only have a heart container.
One expensive heart container coming right up.
I mean, paying 100 rupees for an additional heart, it's not that bad a deal. There are worse scammers out there.
That's true. I guess I'd rather pay 100 than 500 to Zora.
To just get a 20 bag. But yeah, Kakariko not bringing up much, and that was the first map check, I believe. I saw a pendant on Tower of Hera as well as a red crystal on Desert Palace.
I believe Eastern was also a crystal. I think I caught that, but I did not catch if it was a 5/6 or just a regular old crystal. But I believe I saw a crystal there as well.
I would believe it to be a normal crystal, as I saw something light blue over there. So, yeah, pretty standard assembly of dungeon rewards. One red crystal, one pendant, one blue crystal. I think one of the combinations that you will see in most of the races for the Light World.
And it looks like Vertz will be the first one down to check South Hyrule here, get the Lake Hylia checks, the dam check here as well, and see what we've got inside.
Yep. Also, with those flippers already found, we can check out a little bit more here than usual, or at least can check it out without resorting to fake flippering, which means we have already access to the waterfall cave.
And I know if I'm one of these runners, I'm hoping I find some serious rupees in these couple checks down here so that you can just get Zora out of the way right away.
Yep, that would be very nice if you decide to go up there. Now, Vertz, not going up to the uncle so far, has not even gloves, so has currently no real way of farming those rupees easily. But if Zeitnix or Senen would decide to go, for example, to Ice Rod Cave, they at least would be able to pick up the rock and grab those 20 rupees out of the cave repeatedly.
My other favorite scammer in the game, Agina. We've got Vertz checking right now. Just a piece of heart there today, so nothing going to be too out of the way if our runners don't take the time to make that check right away.
Yeah, that Algina play, it is an interesting one always, because it rarely does have something. But if it has something and you check it, you usually gain a pretty big advantage, because most runners will not go there early.
Your standard rando is going to rando there, where either it's going to have something or it's not, and the time you don't check it is when it does.
That's how it works. And not having found a good weapon yet, we get to see Mini Moldon Cave done with bombs. Senen spending a few, but getting it done. And Vertz also through. And wow, that was a sad Mini Moldon Cave.
Not a good one. Nothing worth noting there, unfortunately.
Especially if you had spent quite a few bombs on it. That one must hurt.
Zeitnix looks like takes a death there. Missed if that was, I'm guessing, likely not intentional, unfortunately there, but at this point looks like he might be just avoiding it. We know from what's in there, may not be a bad play.
Yeah. It's now heading over to Eastern Palace. That's the other area early on, which can hold up quite a few items, depending on how they are located inside Eastern Palace itself, up to 6 in the Eastern area. Of course, the 3 out here of the closet from Sasrala.
Ooh, all kinds of stuff going on. Senen getting a sword there in Ice Rod Cave, and then we did just also find out that Green Pendant is going to be pod today.
Ooh, and Sasrala just hoarding a little bit of cash in his closet today. And Zeitnix not continuing further, leaving Eastern Palace behind for now. It is something you might want to do because you want to find the bow first. Words are hard before before going to Eastern Palace most of the time, since you can then clear it out in one go. But sometimes the seed isn't just that nice. And with the lamp in hand, we have at least 2 items out of Eastern Palace in logic. But we get to see the escape sequence, both the front and the back right now, as Zeitnix picked up a bottle with blue goo in the back, and Blackwax doing a bomb escape on the front, picking a hard piece along the way.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than doing escape with bombs, I tell you.
At least this isn't standard, where are you forced to do it.
Very
sometimes.
true.
And like Senen, you also could already have a sword if you would have gone to Ice Rod Cave.
Blackwax using a fun little bomb strat there with that guard. I liked that.
Yeah, whatever works, and that looked like it worked pretty solidly. And also getting that small key is now on the way to Zelda's cell. As Vertz given us a look on the Zora ledge, which also holds onto a bottle containing a fairy. So 2 bottles already.
Looks like Vertz is going to go ahead and pick up that bottle. He doesn't have any yet, so going to take advantage of those flippers, go pick up that bottle, and probably check Sick Kid here in the near future.
And for all we know right now, that might just be a necessary play. We are still missing a little bit on our way to the Dark World. For example, that little moon pearl.
Old Man also has a sword today, so we've already found 2 swords in this seed.
And that now gives us logical access to do Aga 1.
That sure does.
Yeah, with 2 swords and a lamp, we can climb all of the tower and defeat that wizard, granting us access to that item on the pyramid ledge. But until then, we still have a few checks to make. For example, Senen now checking out what's in Eastern Palace, as well as Zeitnix showing us that inside of Spectre is just a big 20. Alongside with the hint that we already found out ourselves that there is some cash in Blindside Out.
A big find there on Desert Ledge for Vertz. We have the hammer on Desert Ledge, which we can get to already. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that he's going to try and pick up that hammer as quickly as he can.
Yep, with that book that he picked up while I was not looking, he sure can get to that hammer, and that one is needed, because that one will give us Dark World access without Agar, except for one case.
Also, just nice to have that hammer for offensive purposes. Being able to do that tempered sword damage with a much worse hitbox is still worth it at this point in the seed. I know I would definitely want to pick it up for that as well.
Yeah. Especially, or the hammer is a little bit tricky to use for beginners, but the more you play and the more you use the hammer, you get used to it, and it becomes a very, very strong weapon. Especially early on if you are low on hearts and might just want to take the enemies out in one hit instead of trying to do 2 or 3 with the sword.
Vertz picking up that hammer and electing to get out of town as far as Desert Palace goes for now.
But with picking up the blue mail in the chest, and we have already Titansmiths on the side of Blackwax, hiding out there in Waterfall Cave alongside the book, so we have all the means to get to the Dark World. We can't just do anything there without that little moon rock we still need. So where is that?
Hopefully we'll potentially make it so maybe Agar won't be required, but you never know. Might be one of those great seeds where Pearl's on Pyramid Ledge. Everybody loves one of those.
Well, as Senen apparently did not find it in Eastern Palace, we are running out of locations which we can get to where it could be, and we are pretty much down to the two worst possible options at this point. That being King Zora, so you have to pay 500 rupees, which were nowhere to be found until now, or do said Agar.
Wondering if Vertz is actually thinking to head to Agar right now. Looks like we're heading towards the castle.
Well, Vertz has still to pick up all the items in the front of his cape as well as the uncle, so we'll be getting those myths first, but yeah, I mean, when you hear at the escape sequence and you could go to Agar, which I'm not sure Vertz can, with having only one sword. I'm not sure where was the second one again. And
good news is it looks like Senen will be heading up towards Zora and does have the money to pay off our favorite scam fish, so we might be able to find out from Senen if Moon Pearl is with the fishes today.
well, Blackwax did give us another check, which was open, and showed us that Sickit maybe was not really sick, but did something else. I mean, he gave us a mushroom. I wonder what he used that for when he was holding on to it.
The healing properties of mushroom.
But Blackwax with that in hand, heading over to that witch, checking out what item will be here waiting for us in the potion shop today.
Senen just reaching Zora. Bombs. Oh boy.
Yeah, and Blackwax does find the mirror hiding behind that mushroom, so that's just a little bit more that we can do, as that mirror opens up our path to Tower of Hera. And with that hammer, we know that as in Desert Palace, we also have access to the east side of Death Mountain. Now, Blackwax, unfortunately, not having been to Desert yet, does not know this and does not have the hammer. So we'll only be able to go up to Hera and see what's in there.
Ah, that's where the book was. It was in Waterfall Ferry. Okay.
Yep. So what you needed to do in this seed is go over to the Zora area to grab the book and the mitts from the waterfall cave as well as the bottle from the Zora ledge. Then go over to Thicket to grab the mushroom so you can get your mirror, and go down to Desert to grab your hammer, and then you are allowed to go up the mountain and clear out all of it. And probably find out that the Moon Pearl is on Pyramid Ledge anyway.
Oh, and we had a flute on top of Spectacle Rock there.
Ooh, so who was it? Blackwax will be able to pick up that at least. And that flute also now opens up another location where that Moon Pearl might hide out, because with those mitts we can go to the Misery Mire area. And while we can't do much without the Moon Pearl in the Dark World, one thing we can do is mirror back to the Light World. And that allows us to get to the Checkerboard Cave even without Moon Pearl.
Our ether tablet just having a little piece of love on it today, so I'm guessing our runners again will not be going back to that one if they do make the check with the book on their way to Hera, as we did see Blackwax do.
Oh. Zeitnix at that point will just be getting that heart piece already being on Master Sword, so maybe just a little. Oh! Did you read that hint? Or maybe you didn't need to because it popped up just right after. Blackwax finding those boots.
I'm guessing that was a boots hint. That's thanks, game.
Yeah, that was the hint about the boots being in Tower of Hera. And the very next chest being said boots. But yeah, that dip into Pendant Tower of Hera at least will be necessary, as we did get to see that Desert Palace is in fact boots locked. So no way around those. Blackwax has to be a little bit careful being on only 1.5 hearts right now. And another entry to the diary given out by the seed, as we already know, and Blackwax also, that the lamp was found with the chickens.
And no item in the big chest there in Hera, meaning we're looking at potentially Moldorm, or worst case scenario, everybody's favorite, the coffee break basement.
Yeah, this is not a good feeling when you know that you might have to do that basement because still are searching for your Moon Pearl. And Blackwax having to do with Fighter Sword here on the Molon fight. This is a little bit annoying, because you have no way of avoiding the enraged face of Moldor. but gets it done very cleanly.
And we get an ice rod for our troubles. No basement today.
Yeah, and that is an even more interesting find. We are still missing one last pendant, but well, if it's not on Turtle Rock, and we have a chance of 1 in 7 for that to be there, that ice rod will be absolutely needed. So Hera potentially, or Pendant Hera potentially holding onto 2 very important items. And those boots open up just more locations where that moon pearl might be, as we can now check Bonk Rocks as well, alongside with King's Tomb. Haven't gotten the mids as well. So yeah, lots of potential options early on, but none leading to the Dark World so far. As Vertz is about to get the mirror, and Senen gotten the mushroom, so can head over there soon as well.
The way this seed has been so far, I wouldn't be surprised to see something on the other side of Death Mountain having that hammer. Once we have one of our runners who's found that, have them take a look. Wouldn't be surprised if we happen to find Moon Pearl over there.
Yeah. I'm a little bit interested, Blackwax deciding to do this way over to Checkerboard Cave and not check out the medallion required for Misery Maya on the way over here. Might potentially come back to bite you later if you do it this way. And that's another mail upgrade hiding out there, so both mail upgrades located. So access to red mail if so desired.
Looks like Vertz is finally heading over to Death Mountain, so we'll get a few more Death Mountain checks. I'm assuming they'll probably check Hera at first and then eventually make their way over to that east side, and we'll see what Paradox has for us.
Yeah, Blackwax, meanwhile, picking up the hammer. With the mirror, you can now just mirror over here to the back of Desert Palace. So a little bit of a time save here, compared to have to open the desert with the book and then go through the dungeon in a little bit more annoying way. And Blackwax haven't... Yeah, go ahead.
Just going to say, speaking of annoying, we had Vertz getting dead rocked there.
Ooh. The hint in Desert Palace telling us about a bottle inside of the purple chest, so no real need to get that. Haven't found already, but Blackwax with the boots can already fully clear out Desert Palace here. And with the Ice Rod, you also have a good weapon for Lanmo. Not as useful as the Fire Rod, as you can, or as your projectiles are not that fast, so you have to time your shots a little different, but nonetheless, it's just as strong as a weapon.
Always enjoy when you get to see Ice Rod strats with that. It's just kind of fun.
Zeitnix picking up the Ice Rod and the pendant, but has to leave without the mirror. But will now be able to full clear Desert Palace as well.
I keep hoping somebody's going to give us a Dark World map check when they hop in to get that flute up there at the top of Spectacle Rock, but not yet. They're keeping us in limbo.
Yeah, it is usually a good point to do it at that point, so I'm always a little bit surprised that if the runners are not going for it, because knowing beforehand what dungeons in the Darkwood are crystals and pendant might influence how you want to route the Darkwood, or which portal you might want to take first. Now, having already found both mids and the hammer, we have basically all the options for you, how you want to go at it, as you can just take the Hype Cave portal and then go up to the Village of Outcasts, as you can lift up those rocks. But who knows, maybe one of our runners wants to head over to Palace of Darkness first and see if there's not a little bit of progression hidden there.
And Blackwax giving us those Ice Rod strats against Land Molas.
Yeah. Has only one shot left, but only needs one more hit as well. And decides to just use the sword for the last Lano here. Does take a bit with the fighter sword, but has taken Lano down and will get the first crystal of this race.
Senen taking down Moldorm with a well-placed hammer hit there as well.
Yeah. Having the hammer for Moldorm available compared to only fighter sword is a huge plus there, as you only need 3 hits with the hammer and you are able to avoid enraging Moldorm. You could you could use Master Sword spins as well, as they do the same amount of damage. But I would even say, since you're a little bit more mobile with the hammer on Moldorm, it's a little bit better than the Master Sword there. That's just personal preference.
Senen showing us a floating island there. It looks like it's just a 10-pack of arrows, so nothing too important there. Giving us a quick run through Spiral Cave. See what we've got.
Yeah, but Senen, having already been to desert first before going up here and picked up that hammer, the first runner to be able to check out Spiral Cave and finds the Moon Pearl. So
there we go.
This seed was a little bit rude. It either wanted you to double dip desert or to double dip the mountain.
It's pretty nice, though. That's going to open things up pretty nicely for our runners.
Yes, Blackwax now gets the Master Sword. And the potential fear of, oh no, please do not let that Moon Pearl be on Pyramid Edge. And the way it played out for the runners here, I could see at least one of them maybe trying to do that gamble on the on the Pyramid Edge over going back up the mountain. As if you nail that chance, you get a significant advantage, as Blackwax does pick up the Cane of Somaria out of King's Tomb.
Definitely a nice find there. Did also see Senen pick up the Tempered Sword, so we did find a third sword upgrade as well in Paradox Cave there.
Ooh. No, your access to Paradox Cave also gives you access to Spiral Cave, so if you Do you all of your checks without missing one. You will get the knowledge that this is in fact not an Agar seed. But having a Tempest Sword early on is very nice.
We do see a Quake for our entrance into Turtle Rock today.
And we also had a map check that our tracker today, Vash, was also doing our restream. Did spot in Thieves Town, or no, there are two pendants marked. Thieves Town and Skull Woods can only be one of those. But apparently Turtle Rock is at least that second red crystal, and I believe we saw a Bombo's medallion hiding or locking Misery Maya there. So that Bombos we picked up, we will actually need it. As Vertz tried to make that block disappear by bombing it.
It looked like he was trying to do the hookshot clip there and kind of forgot he didn't have it, so.
I think he intended more the mirror clip to make it disappear, but forgot to switch to the mirror. Yeah. Luckily gets an immediate bomb refill out of Super Bunny Cave, as there is the 10 bomb pack hiding out there. And ooh, Zeitnix, where are you going?
That was my question.
Okay. Front of escape. Sensible choice. Can totally get behind it. The question is what comes after it. With the mirror, you can just mirror back to the entrance of the castle, and when you are here, now would be the time to do that Agar gamble. But we did get to see Hype Cave from Senen having half magic for us, if I caught that correctly. Yep.
But the only useful thing that was found in Hype Cave there, unfortunately, but plenty of other checks that we can make.
Yeah, and then heading straight over for Bombo's tablet. I mean, it's a very nice route if you have Mirror Book Titans. You can pretty much take out all in one go.
And Bombo's tablet giving us a fetch quest today with the shovel.
Conveniently placed there, I'd say, as you would be able to just continue that loop that you would already be doing and add in that little shovel check. But Senen apparently deciding to switch it off and start out in Village of Outcasts first, taking the Kakariko portal.
Yeah, it's an interesting play there. I definitely probably would have gone through the South Way, but teach their own. Are we activating the flute? That makes a little more sense. Okay.
Yeah. So that would have been a little bit more optimal to activate the flute first and then go over to Hive Cave, but yeah, sometimes you just straight up forget that you got it. And ooh, is Senen doing an Ice Palace?
Are we seeing an Ice Palace play exactly?
Nope, not yet. Stocking up on bombs first, looks like. Buying an upgrade and getting a refill alongside it. And now heading.
Yeah, we are getting that Ice Palace play.
interesting. It's not it's not something you get to see all the time, but I'm fond of it. That's a nice play. I mean, you have no fire rod for Skullwoods. You have a Thief's Town that is a pendant. So none of the dungeons you really want to do just yet, but you can full clear Ice Palace. So why not do it? And Vertz taken another option here, deciding to clear out Misery Maya, and I missed him picking up the bow.
Ah, I did as well.
Yeah, having 4 players at the race, there's so much happening all of the time. So it's easy to miss something, but apparently a bow was in Meyer shed. That is a very, very convenient location as well, considering that we already have silvers. So basically saying, you want to do Meyer? Here, have the bow. Go clear out that Vitreous with no problems at all. Thank you, game, for another entry in our diary.
Yeah, hint system's just on today. We're just useful hints all around.
I mean, that's how they usually are, so no real surprise there.
Very true.
Senen now trying that Ice Palace bomb jump. Looks good. Gets it beautifully. Now, without the hook shot, you have a little bit of more annoying routing here to do, or have to do a bomb jump to get over to the right side if you want to do a complete full clear here. Let's see if Senen decides to do that. Yes, Blackwax is finally picking up that Moon Pearl.
Vert's not really finding too much yet other than small keys and mire. Still looking for some items and a big key.
Yeah, that's how it usually plays out. There's one item at least, but just 20 rupees. And that is also one of the greatest things we could have found. There is some cash in Ganon's tower.
Senen nailing that bomb jump. Nicely done.
Birds finding the big key, head into the big chest and wire with just the map. And apparently is now begrudgingly headed back over to the left side to do that cutscene chest. So we now get to see the first of the Hammerlock chests here in Ice Palace, handing us over the big key. And another small key.
And there's our fire rod.
That is a huge play from Senen here. Being able to get that fire rod early means you have now better routing going through Village of Outcast as you can straight up finish Skullwoods from the back. doing only what's necessary. And yeah, I mean, Senen still has to find the bow and the Cane of Samaria, but I think we are just a Quake Medallion away from no mode at this point.
Yeah, for a seed that started out a little bit trolly with that Moon Pearl, it's opening up pretty nicely here.
Oh, no, we also missing the hookshot. So one more item, but yeah. That's not much. And Senen missing said hookshot has to do a bomb jump back over here to do the vanilla way over to Ice Palace Big Chest by bombing up that hole and getting not rewarded for it.
Looks like Zeitnix will be checking out Spike Cave here.
Interesting decision, as you do not have an invincibility item.
Yeah.
Now, you have found 2 bottles, and I believe that also logically allows you to check out Spy Cave, so... Zeitnix deliberating about what to do, but deciding to use up the ferry instead. Which is probably a good decision, as that will allow you to clear out this cave without using a then more valuable potion. But we have almost synced boss takedowns on the upper half of the screen as Senen takes down Cold Stare and Vertz making short work of Vitreous. So one additional crystal for each of those 2. But Vertz now being able to finish out the second crystal straight away by just mirroring over to Desert. And Senen apparently making a very good read on the seed here, heading over to the Misery Mire area, will be picking up that bow.
And Senen will also be able to do a back-to-back there, which will be very nice for them.
So now that is getting a little bit further into the seed, Senen getting out a little bit edge routing-wise here. But while having done a great play so far, has still to make that call for the Fire Rod in Ice Palace. And then mirroring over there a little bit close to the ledge, does not want to risk jumping down there before checking Checkerboard Cave, so mirroring back once. And we get to see K45 from Zeitnix here. Only 3 bombs. And a single rupee on Stumpy. So Zeitnix unfortunately not having gone to the Bomber's tablet first, did not pick up the shovel, so when checking out Stumpy, did leave that spot behind.
was just trying to remember where that shovel was, but it looks like we at least will get to see that check from Blackwax, who did pick it up.
It was on Bombo's tablet, so it was close by, but a little bit out of the way. It only netted hard containers, so it will not be really necessary at this point.
Vertz going for the silver arrow landmole of fight. Clears it there.
And picks up the second crystal. And Zeitnix shown us the hammer packs today, as well as the smith following it. Just a big 20 on the packs. And Senen opting for fire rod strats against Dano.
It does look like Blackwax is also following Zeitnix's lead there. Oh, and Zeitnix picking up Ether there. Fortunately, doesn't look like we need that one, but hey.
Yeah, that's the one that has no real use today, so a little bit unlucky there.
Vertz will be going to get their shovel here.
Probably being a little bit sad not having gotten here before going up the road to the Village of Outcasts. And oh, Vertz doing an interesting play here, checking out Swamp Palace without the hookshot.
I do believe it might have been Vertz. I did see somebody had gotten a hint for Left Side Swamp, and I believe it had said there was a unique item. So if that was Vertz, because I believe it wasn't Meyer, that might be the train of thought here.
Oh. Now, there are a few unique items that still are missing. So I do not believe we did see the single arrow yet. We did not see the powder just now. We're still missing the Quake medallion. And the cape and the cane of Burner are also not found yet. So alongside the bugnet, there are quite a few misses that could be a unique item. And Zeitnix and Blackwax now been in Pen and Thieves Town, checking out the front chests at least. So, yeah, we will see what's turning up in or on Left Side Swamp, but barring something like the hookshot or the Quake medallion over there, Senen, or with now doing Misery Maya, still in a very favorable position for now.
Thieves Town with another grade A hint about some bombs.
Yeah, so maybe the hints were paying attention to the schedule today, noticed that there are no mentors and decided to stay on that train of thought and say, nope, no help for runners today.
It's got to be a challenge, right?
I mean, after all, it is a placement race here on the bracket phase of the tournament, so no easy seats here at all anymore. I mean, taking a quick look over our pendants, does bring to notice that the two items we are still missing, and yet there was that set unique item for left side swamp hint, but the hookshot and the quake medallion both can still be on the pedestal.
Well, we managed to avoid AGA, and it seems like all the Go Mode podcast tournament seeds have had some lovely twist to each of them, so who knows?
Who knows? I mean, having the book and the mirror and Skullwoods actually being crystal, you get
did you see it?
I did see it, indeed.
Vertz finding the hookshot, left side swamp.
So that is indeed a strong play for Vertz, staying in this race here for now, but Senen did get that same hint and has now the decision to make. Do you follow that hint, or do you try and clear out the rest first?
Especially finding that fire rod. I know if it were me, I'd feel more inclined towards heading to the Skullwoods kind of area.
And Senen decided to mirror out of Misery Maya for now after finding the key, and maybe stock up on potions before fighting Vitrius. Or not? Oh, right. Vash bring to my attention that Senen missing this cane of Somaria. Yeah, that now can get interesting, as that cane of Somaria being on King's Tomb is not that easy to spot. It's just that little bit out of the way.
Blackwax defeating Blind, picking up a blue pendant for their trouble.
So pendant number 2 already in the pocket. And now maybe heading over to Skullwoods without the fire rod.
Curious to see if either of our runners at the Skullwoods area right now will take the time for a ped check. I gotta think at least Senen would, but you never know.
It depends on the read you got of the seed. I mean, with that hint, unique item left side swamp, you might put one of the 2 items you need on that spot, but if you want to be safe, and I would blame for Senen, I wouldn't blame Senen for playing that way, as you would, or as Senen did get a very good route up to this point. You would check that pedestal to get it out of your mind. And if there pops up the message of maxing out the Richter Scala, you are just very happy that you did make that check. And Vertz505 defeated Argus, heads back in, apparently intending to check out what is hidden in the big chest of Swamp Palace. Just Arby's.
Nothing to write home about. Looks like Blackwax is going to give us a pedestal check.
That is a better defense in front of you, and that's nothing a runner of this game needs at all. I mean, we could now nitpick and say, yeah, you might want to have a shield for Laser Bridge, but
And nobody's gonna go out of their way for a shield for 3 pendants. Boy, that'd just be crazy.
I mean, on Blackwax's side, might as well go for it since you already have 2 pendants. And who knows, maybe that Quake Medallion just hides out on Helmasaur King conveniently, so you pick up the 3rd pendant in the process. But yeah, it's not the play you would, or not the item you would make the play of going for the 3rd pendant for. Senen squatting him off without much problems. Takes 10 arrows as a price for that. And also crystal number 3. And now also doing a pet check.
Getting the good news that it is not going to be ped required here. So if I'm not mistaken, the question now for us is for no mode, just knowing where the Quake Medallion is, correct?
That is correct. So finding that medallion is the top priority for our runners at this point, if they would have all the information we got. Now we have still quite a few options open to us, as we have practically unlocked everything that isn't locked by that Quake medallion. So it might be in Palace of Darkness, it might just be on in Hookshot Cave or on that mountain itself. It might even possibly be on the Armor's Knights, which I don't know if they hold onto an item still or not.
Admittedly, I did not count items for that one either, so I'm not quite sure. Oh, maybe it is. Senen does appear to be going back into Eastern, so.
I mean, it is a crystal, so you have to do that fight either way.
Good point, good point.
The bigger question would be, do you actually dive into Palace of Darkness after it if you do not find something here? Senen still searching for that Cane of Somaria, probably is going to do. And missing out on that cane might actually hurt Senen very much here.
And Senen needing hookshot still as well, and I'm sure, like many of us, does not want to go too close to Swamp without that hookshot. Even, I believe, getting that or no, maybe he did not get that hint. I can't remember if he got the Detmeyer one.
Senen did definitely get that hint, but as you are still looking for cane, quake, and hookshot, you do not want to really risk going over there for just getting that cane of Samaria if you could have gotten the hookshot before and could have cleared out Swamp in one go. So maybe does want to find another item or another required item first before following that hint. Also, even if you find a hint for a unique item left side Swamp, you never know. It could always just be the bug net, and that would not make it worth dipping in there. So Armor's indeed holding on to one item. Unfortunately, this item only being 3 bombs is not much help for Senen, but it is a 4th crystal in the pocket.
And I can't say if we do see Senen turn around right here and go into pod that I blame him too much with the item density that you've got there. Plenty of options to find something you're looking for.
Yeah. As well as Palace of Darkness being our green pendant does in fact mean it holds on to yet another item, although I believe we found an item for it saying it's only cash.
Yes, we did see a hint for it, and it was just a cache there, so.
Zeitnix making quick work of victories as well. Picking up crystal number 2. And with Vertz checking out the back of Thieves Town.
Zeitnix looks like they're making that Ice Palace play. Good for them. I know we've got a fire rod in there. Blackwax following suit as well.
Oh. So Zeitnix haven't found that cane of Samaria also, but still missing the hookshot. That's Blackwax, on the other hand, did not find the bow yet, so does definitely not have the knowledge of the unique item being on left side Swamp here. Zeitnix taking the aid of the Bonus Medallion to take care of the Pangators. Having the Tempered Sword, you could just use the spin to one-shot them, so almost does cost you a little bit more time.
Senen did pick up a cane as well, just not the one we're looking for.
Ooh. So, with that cane pickup, at least there is definitely no need for that pedestal at all anymore. Even if you do not or are not able to do laser skips, you will not need that mirror shield, as you can just use your trusty cane of Brian.
And with half magic, it's a breeze. Otherwise, so far, Palace of Darkness not giving us too much. Still a few more chests to go here, but nothing too noteworthy yet.
Well, we found all the small keys, so Harmless Hellway loaded with an item today.
Ha!
Ooh, and what an item it is! That is the Quake Medallion we need. So Senen now has to make the choice of when or if and when to follow that hint for the unique item on left side swarm. And if Senen makes the play over to Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb, I would assume he would head straight up over to Swarm to check out if the hookshot is hiding out there, because that at that moment wouldn't mean go mode for Senen, and that cape pickup only helps maybe making that decision at that point, because now there are two useless unique items out of the way. And Blackwax has to be careful, being only on 1.5 hearts here after the Ice Palace Bomb Charm. Can pick up one more heart here, but there's still that firebar. And I believe Senen is on the way to check out Catfish.
Suppose that would make sense. If you could check that, see what we got. I'm not sure. I was going to say if you checked Ledge or not as well, so it looks like we'll be seeing that check. I know we've seen it already, but he'll be making his Pyramid Ledge check.
Yep, it's on the way. And there's no worse feeling than just leaving your hookshot on the pyramid when it would have been available all the time.
Oh yeah, number of times I've done that is higher than I'm willing to admit.
That is just the bane of random players. I do not want to count the times I have left something there on the pyramid. For a good half an hour, just to last located pretty much there, being my go mode. That usually are the times where you're asking yourself, why do I even play this?
Yeah, you gotta love those seeds. It's those ones where you say you're never playing this game again, and 5 minutes later, there you are. Zeitnix on Cold Stare fight right now, using Fire Rod very well there, taking Cold Stare down.
Vertz apparently on the way to check Pyramid and Catfish as well. As Senen is making that swamp play now.
And that's going to help Senen out quite a bit. Of course, still needed to pick up that cane. Could be a little bit depending on when they decide to go check out Bonk Rocks and the like, but definitely putting him in a good position.
That's for sure. Blackwax continuing to do a low percent play, Ice Palace play. You have to love that beautiful sound of the beep warning you that you do not have much health left. It's just the right grade of annoying that you are want to freak out but can't because you have to concentrate playing.
See, that's one of my favorite, as Blackwax does pick up the fire rod there. One of my favorite elements of Randomizer is the ability to change the speed at which the hearts do beep at you. So I'm a big fan of quarter speed because I don't need that.
Well, I mean, the standard setting for heart beeps or the beeps is half speed compared to the original game. So what we hear on Blackwax's side is already a slow version of that. Imagine how the vanilla game sounds.
It sounds awful.
Yeah. You will get to know that if you ever start out on trying to run Link to the Past NMG speedruns. Because on your first try, you will be getting that lovely sound quite a bit.
As someone who started out playing the vanilla game many decades ago, it's almost hard to go back to playing vanilla or NMG runs just because it can be quite painful. Zeitnix defeating Mothula there for another crystal. Looking pretty good there. I'm guessing we'll probably see, hopefully, maybe Swamp there. Eastern also a possibility there.
Blackwax taking out Cold Stare. Taking a little bit of damage, but getting it done in the end. As Vertz takes out Armor's Knight, so a variety of bosses taken down at once. And crystals picked up everywhere.
This has been kind of a fun seed. It's nice to see, so many variations between what each of our runners kind of needs in terms of getting to go mode. With the cane being one variant, Blackwax still needing a bow, hookshot as well. It's just kind of nice to see a seed like this where you get a little bit more variation and it's a little bit more up in the air who's gonna kind of make their way up towards GT first.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the better seeds or nicer seeds for both runners and viewers as well, as getting all those items like Mitz, Hammer, Mirror early on opens up the seed quite a lot, and you have many options where you can go. It did start out a bit weird, as we were struggling to find that opening, but when we did find it Moonpearl in the end, we basically had the second half of our game open to us and could do whatever we wanted. So decision making was a big point, or a big point of this seed. And we now see what different decisions were leading to.
We did see Senen pick up hookshot now, so just a Cane of Samaria away from go mode.
Yep. Vertz still has to pick up that fire rod over an Ice Palace and has to make the way over to Palace of Darkness. And that might just be the neck breaker of the seed, because at this point, getting over to Pendant Palace of Darkness is going to become harder and harder, because there is no real reason to get over there, but Vertz is on the way. Yes, is Zeitnix. And Senen, with finding that big key, deciding to head back to the big chest. Oh, apparently Senen did.
Oh, still doing it anyway.
No, interesting that Senen did decide to leave out those two chests at first, head into the waterfall cave. Apparently, all from intending from the start to find the big key and then heading back, which made the chances of this that happening bigger by doing it this way. But yeah, if the big key would have been on Argus, that would have been sadly a little bit of time lost there. Also, got to experience that stair glitch. Which we all do love to never see ever again. But hey, what can you do?
I believe, I could be wrong there, but I think Vertz did just pick up the Quake medallion from Pod. Unless I'm crazy and that was Ether. But I saw a medallion and now I can't remember where Quake was.
Quake was indeed in Pod, and Ether Medallion was definitely not, so... Yep, there it's showing, all 3 medallions assembled, so...
Yeah, this is where, again...
Oh,
go ahead.
The only thing Vertz has to do now is go over to Ice Palace to pick up that fire rod. But Vertz headed back over and will finish Helmasaur King. So we'll lose a little bit of time here.
I was just going to say again with the different go modes. So right now we've got Senen, of course, needing a red cane. We've got Blackwax, who just needs to, well, I suppose they need Quake as well and the hook, but now Fire Rod. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I was thinking Blackwax had Quake for some reason, but again, just depending on where they go, changing what item's going to be needed for go mode is... I love seeds. I love watching races like that, so.
Yeah, and Zeitnix also as well. On the way to pick up that Quake medallion, so we'll only need to go over to Swamp Palace to pick up that hookshot. So 3 runners, 3 different go modes. And Senen unfortunately checking out the wrong mirror location here with K45. His Graveyard Ledge would be much closer to that needed Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, I've got to imagine Senen will be finding Kane not too long from now, hopefully, seeing that we're going back to some overworld checks here.
I mean, I don't think Senen has any dungeon checks left aside from the back of Thieves Town. So might be heading for that. As Vertz does finish off Helmasaur King and picks up the green pendant, which we know does not give you anything useful. Does not look like Vertz got that memo.
Unfortunately, it does not. Just
And
getting a big 20 for their troubles.
yeah, your cold hard cash. I mean, you can say you earned it.
That's true.
You had to defeat a boss for it, but yeah, I think you would have rather stolen nice, flashy fire rod from him. And Senen continuing on the Smith chain. Vertz is maybe over on the way to Catfish or Glacier Ledge. I'm not sure who checked what at this point, but that looks like Catfish.
Definitely a catfish check here. Though I have to imagine again with just what's open to them that Ice Palace is going to be the next dungeon they're going to be taking a look at. So
yeah, definitely should be. So I mean, at the point for words, I do not really like check-in Catfish here at this point, as you can finish out Ice Palace at least, and you probably should. But it's, of course, it is rando, so it could just be here, and apparently Vertz does want to get Zora out of the head, which had to be left behind earlier, and of course, having that one lumen out in your head that you could have had this one maybe from an hour ago, you just didn't have the money.
yeah, you never want to have Zora in the back of your head, and at least with checking Catfish like Vertz did there, unfortunately not having much value insofar as what either held, but can understand that routing decision there, wanting to get both out of the way at the same time.
Yep. Blackwax did take down Vitreous, so picks up crystal number 4. And also has now, hopefully, the information of a unique item on left side swamp. And then just needs to find the Quake Medallion over in Palace of Darkness, as Zeitnix appears to head over for go mode. As Zeitnix does drain the dam. And will be heading into Swamp Palace. And Vertz, unfortunately, going up the mountain, intending to check out Dark Death Mountain and search for the fire rod. And there is an very, very nasty scenario here for Vertz, that if deciding to head further into Turtle Rock and the small keys do not doing you a favor, can try to lead you to the laser bridge in the belief of finding the fire rod there, at which you would just lose a big amount of time here.
Not going in though, at least not yet. That's a good sign for Vertz. Does look like Blackwax decided to jump back over to Eastern, get that completed here. So after that, I'm guessing we'll see the swamp play.
So Hookshot Cave holding on to money, more money.
This is still a great race. I mean, this is kind of still at this point anybody's race as far as I can see.
It definitely is anybody's race, although Zeitnix now, being on the way to go mode, apparently now getting that slight edge. And Vertz trying the chances, looking if Fire Rod could be here in Turtle Rock. I mean, I definitely can understand the play, because if you do not get a small key here, you would know that Fire Rod could not be here. So one key, we can go a little bit further in. Senen is now, in fact, checking out the back of Thief's Town. And yeah, missing on that early pick of the Cane of Samaria did hurt Senen in the end. And there's the powder, so no further, we're going in for Vertz.
That's almost a good thing. You really hate to see that ability to get down too far into Turtle Rock only to realize that your fire rod's not going to be there, and this is a huge waste of time, and you just face palm and get pretty upset.
Yeah. And Vertz is now going over to check out Spy Cave. But yeah, we will have to ask Vertz about why avoiding Ice Palace for so long. I mean, I kind of can understand it. If or that you might just want to try to go mode Ice Palace if you can, but at some point, if you just take too much overworld, you just lose all the time you would have saved if you go mode Ice Palace over full clear anyway, so
Right.
sometimes just clear out the crystal first.
I will say, as a former runner in this tournament, that's probably one lesson I definitely learned throughout watching races and my own races was just do the dungeon. Just do the dungeon, because you never know.
Yeah, I mean the worst that can happen is it's not in there, and you just but then you just did a dungeon you had to do anyway, so it was not a complete waste of time at least. But in contrary, everything you check outside of it, and it turns out to be in the dungeon you just had to go anyway. You just lost the time out there that you could have definitely saved. And Vertz is now finally making that play into Ice Palace. Senen is finally heading over to the Graveyard Ledge and will follow up with King's Tomb. So Zeitnix haven't already reached go mode. Vertz and Senen about to get to it. This is still a close race.
Very, very close race, and Blackwax just moments away from getting their hook shot as well. It's gonna be a fun one here.
Yeah, so Zeitnix obviously has still a good advantage here, as Zeitnix will pick up crystal number 6 and can head straight up the mountain to do Turtle Rock and then do Gen's Tower. Vertz has to still finish Ice Palace and then Skull Woods afterwards. Senen has to go back to Misery Mire to clear out, to finish off Vitreous, so both will lose a little bit of time here. Or will take a little bit more time to get up the mountain, but Turtle Rock is still not that easy a dungeon, and sometimes your Trinix fight does not go as well, or Chain Chomps take a little bit too much bites out of you.
The one good thing is our runners do all have red mail, and we do have quite a few hearts here as well, so I've got to assume with the level that all 4 of these runners are, Turtle Rock shouldn't be too much of a problem for them, but you are correct. You never know when the Chain Chomp room's just gonna not want to cooperate with you, but I'm imagining it's gonna be a pretty decent Turtle Rock for all of them.
And of course, after that, there is still Ganon's Tower and that search for the big key. So while Zeitnix may have a good lead here, about 2-3 minutes probably, that can still come down on when do you find the big key, and is your execution up today for the gauntlet and the last bosses here? So this race is far from over.
Of course, even something just so simple as if we get to Ganon and there's a fall, I mean that eats up your time as well. So very much at this point not decided. It's gonna potentially be down to the wire on this one.
Yep. And I did not catch if Vertz did the bomb jump or not, but picking up that fire rod put. Oh, okay. Just wanna get that small key. Good. That answers that. Was a little bit confused there for a moment, but yeah, of course, you need that key to get out easily. But yeah, Vertz getting and recognizing Go mode as well, so.
Blackwax trying to go a little bit further there, and Swamp realizing they forgot to grab that small key, so running back over to that pot to grab that there.
Yeah. I mean, who
We've all
did,
done it.
There, it happens from time to time. You just walk up to a door and then get noticed. Well, there's still a key missing.
Especially with those dungeons where you don't need the big key. Sometimes I feel like you just kind of turn your brain off a little bit in Go mode.
Yeah, when you hit Go mode, sometimes you are working your dungeons on muscle memory while you're planning out further ahead and paying not really attention to what you did and did not pick up in the dungeon itself. So yeah, do you want to stay on focus? As such mistakes can decide a close race at some point.
Senen getting that crystal. Misery Meyer will be making their way up to Turtle Rock as well. So, and Vertz as well. So, those two will be heading to Turtle Rock.
Vertz has to still pick up the crystal from the moth, having just now gotten the fire rod, so we'll have to make a detour. I mean, Vertz, of course, could go to Turtle Rock yet, but after that you wouldn't be able to get into Ganon's Tower yet, so maybe do Skullwoods first. Just maybe.
Maybe.
I mean...
Especially if you're in Go mode. I just missed that completely. This is the problem with 4-person race.
I'm sure I probably never have done that. No, never. Never happened. Absolutely not a feeling that I know. Stand there before Ganon's Tower, wondering why is that cutscene not playing. Open up your inventory and then remembering, yeah, there's that little bug still flapping around happily. You just floated to the wrong spot too early. But yeah. Senen now open up Turtle Rock as Zeitnix heads in to the big chest and is on the way to Laser Bridge. Small key found for Zeitnix, so has now the ability to skip out on Laser Bridge completely, just heading straight for Tronix there. And Moth taken down for Vertz. Crystal number 6 picked up. And Vertz will follow Zeitnix and Senen into Turtle Rock.
Zeitnix just reaching Trinex. Blackwax, unfortunately, still in the hunt for that quick medal.
I haven't done all of the crystals aside from Turtle Rock, and now on the search, and that it's now coming into place for Blackwax that medallion hiding out in Pendant Palace of Darkness is not something you pick up that easily at this point in a race.
Zeitnix does complete Turtle Rock there, getting the last and final crystal. So I've wanted to do this for forever. So since I'm commentating, it's time for the Ganon Tower Big Key game, right? So
Yeah.
Anybody in chat wants to take a guess as to what chest we're going to see our Ganon's Tower Big Key in 1 through 22? Now is the time as Zeitnix is busting their way over to Ganon's Tower.
Get your guesses into the chat with a number between 1 and 22. And show how cruel you wish the seat to be for the runners. So now, while this shouldn't come into play, a little explanation as to how we count this. We will start with the first player into Ganon's Tower, and regardless of who finds the key first, our count will with the player we started counting with. So even if Senen were to beeline straight to the big key after finishing Trinix and finding it before Zeitnix, the number on Zeitnix side will be taken for our count. Now it looks like Zeitnix is now our numbers 4 to 7 already. Probably gone to Hope Room first. But no big key so far.
It's because it's going to be the next chest, because that's what I picked. Just kidding, commentator curse.
Yeah, or more lack thereof, as you should practice it. I mean, my commentator's curse is still not up there as well, but sometimes I've gotten it at least, so... Number 9, only 3 bombs.
Makes you wonder if it would be right side, and if one of the runners decides to take that chance, if could make some time up that way.
Senen might just have the possibility, as Trinix is about to go down. And that were 10 to 13.
That is correct.
No big key to be found there. So I believe there were 2 small keys on or in Hope Room. So if Senen decides to take up those 2 small keys and go right side, and it turns out to be there, Senen might just flip around the lead here again.
It may have only been one small key in Hope Room, because I do believe the best boomerang, in my opinion, the red boomerang, was in Hope Room, I remember, so.
Yeah, actually that might be true. I was going off the small key count, but yeah, there was one on the torch and then the one on the pot, or under the pot, so okay, yeah. Little bit of miscounting, but yeah. Ice Armor's taken down for Zeitnix. And 16, 17, it's not behind Ice Armors, it's somewhere on the right side. Senen does mirror out after Hope Room despite having a key. So, Zeitnix will retain the lead here. Question is now, we have 5 chances. Is it the 1 in 5? Zeitnix does not go for it.
That would be my luck, though, if this turns out to be a tile room big key. Nothing would make me happier as a first-time commentator.
Well, we will get to see the 4 out of 5 that it's not. Numbers 18, and it will be not 22 as it picks up on the 19. Little bit of knowledge here. If there is a small key in the compass room, the big key will also always be here.
Did not know that one.
It does not really help you as you have no way of knowing that there's a small key in this room aside from checking this room. But if you see the small key in the compass room popping out, you can at least be relieved that tile room indeed was not the play. But yeah, number 19 it was in the end, so our closest guess to this was from Amaranth. Guessing with that 22. And also on Vertz doing the same thing our other runners did. Check in Hope Room, and despite of finding a key, not going further right side, so no time saved there. And Zeitnix keeping that lead up the gauntlet. Now,
Most definitely. He's looking really good. Definitely at this point, it looks like it might be Zeitnix's race to lose.
Yeah. Now, I'm a little bit curious as to why none of the runners decided to follow that small key to the right side. And I might blame it on this actually being the mentor tournament, and some of the mentors having similar ideas about routing this. Maybe giving those ideas to the runners.
I guess if it were me, I mean, that's just standard wise how I would probably route GT. Not knowing, I guess, if small key really does make a difference if you find one there, if it's worth it to chase it down or not.
I mean, finding 1 or 2 in the hope rooms does not say anything. It's just I know from a fact that if there's a small key in that 4 chest room on the right side, the big key is also always be there, so. It's not really something you can use, it's more of when you find it, or when you do check out hope room first, do you follow a small key if you find it there? because if the key is indeed on the right side and you just go out, even if you could have gone, or if you go just left and you could have gone over or continue right, you lose a lot of time.
Right.
So there are other routes through Ganon's Tower where you start on the left side, go up to Starfor's room and then mirror over and go to the right side, which loses you time if the key is over and render room, but it's a little bit, or it's not as much of a time loss if you go hope room and then go full left when the key is right. So there are pros and cons to every routing in GT, and seeing 3 of our runners doing the same thing of hope roam, finding in the key and not following it, strikes me as a little bit interesting. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on there, but yeah.
Zeitnix is almost through the climb. We did see our validation chest today as a 5 rupee, so not too much longer till Aga 2.
I mean, we did not see the gold until now, so could have been just in there. And when that chest is there anyway, why not pick it up and look for that one more sword? Does not really hurt you at all.
Now, especially in GT, if it's right in front of me and I still could use something, I'm gonna open that chest most of the time.
So Zeitnix taken on Aga 2, Senen working through the gauntlet, and Vertz
making that tile room play.
Yeah, going for that play, I do not blame him at all. I mean, at this point, he has done ice armor, so it's basically a 20% chance to just find it here, and I have made that play and saved me 40 seconds in a few races already, so yeah. If you feel like it, why not try it? And Vertz maybe feeling a little bit behind.
Yeah, gets a butter sword for his troubles, though.
Yeah. Not today, but that makes the Ganon fight just that little bit easier.
Unfortunately, I don't think it will be the difference for Vertz, given some catastrophic fail here.
No, don't think so either. So yeah, it was a try. It didn't pay out, but like I said, at this point, if you feel a little bit behind and want to make a play which could win you a bit, or no, could save you a bit of time over the others, you have every right to make so to do so. And Words doing a little bit of witchcraft here, heading straight for the big key in that room. Not checking out the small key like the other 2 runners. I mean, with the floor drop in there in that room, routing it the way Vertz did does have a little bit risk added to it. So if you want a fully cleared room, it would be better to do it like the other 2 runners, but
Meanwhile,
we're talking, yeah.
Yeah, Zeitnix has gone ahead and defeated the pig. Everybody get your GGs in chat for Zeitnix here.
Did a very, very clean fight of Ganon and finishes the seat in first place of the race and nailing place 5 of this tournament with an official SRL time of 1 hours 52 minutes and 36 seconds. GG. And Senen now on the way to Aga 2, as Vertz is going on through the gauntlet. And Blackwax on the way over to Zeitnix. And here is the person of the hour, our winner of this race, and officially getting fifth place of the tournament. GG, Zeitnix.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, where's everybody else?
Well, Senen is just on your heels, taking the duck over to fight the big pig. So
Cool.
Vertz as well just got through Wizrobe 2, so Vertz is also not far behind, and Blackwax is just taking on Zeitnix, so it was a close race all around.
That's awesome, and it makes sense. The seed would not open up.
yeah, and not to spoil too much, but we had 3 runners with 3 different go modes this seed, despite this being still so close. So
That's interesting, and it makes a little bit of sense considering how spread out things were at the beginning. I couldn't get to the Dark World.
Now that Moon Pro was just a troll today.
Yep.
And it was not very nice of the seed on the start. I mean, it basically forced you to do double dip one of the things, either desert or the trips to the mountain, because you could have gone to desert first to get the hammer and then get the moon pearl in one go alongside the boots. But then you had to leave behind desert, of course. You could have also got to Hera first, clear it out, but then you had to leave the moon pearl behind to get your hammer out of desert.
Darned if you do, and darned if you
don't. Exactly.
But overall, I constantly fell behind. But it was fun. It was good seed. I was pretty upset right at the beginning when I went to Mini Moldorm Cave and took a death, but it wasn't that big of a deal, but still got on my nerves real early.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. I know that from personal experience, but yeah, that Mini Moldorm Cave, that was a pure disappointment today, so you really did not lose anything there.
No, except for that it was on my mind to make sure I went back and checked it. If only I'd have known what it was.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have Senen finishing here, defeating the Big Pig with a official SRL time of 1:56.17. So GG's to Senen as well for taking 6th place officially in our match today. 2nd overall, but 6th in brackets.
Sure. Yeah, GG's Senen.
No, it was a fun one to watch. I mean, like you said, the beginning of the seed was a little interesting, but once it opened up to you guys, it was really fun to see how many different kind of variations and changes you guys had between yourselves to kind of see what happened. And like Ralen said, the different go mode items was definitely very cool. So it's a fun one to get to watch.
I'm very much looking forward to going back and watching it back to see what the other runners did.
And meanwhile, we do have Vertz, it looks like, on Ganon here, just about to finish phase 3. So Vertz will be following right behind, and Blackwax is officially in the tower now. So yeah, definitely a close race overall.
Yeah, it's nice to see that we were all getting to the tower area at about the same general time, so that's pretty great. Makes it a good one to watch. I'm excited.
It definitely was, and despite you having won this race, for the most time you actually did look to be a little bit behind. So Senen and Vertz making respectively plays that put them ahead a little bit, but in the end, you made all of the plays at first. But,
Yeah, I almost so I was looking for that hook shot, right? And I almost went up to Turtle Rock. And I don't know how far I got towards it, but I went up to the mountain and I even started going up there. And then I looked down at my notes and I saw shield and unique item in West Swamp Palace. And I went, oh, maybe I should just go check that. And it worked out, so that was good.
and
Yeah, that hint really was kind of a saving grace today because I know I wouldn't want to go anywhere near swamp with a 10-foot pole without a hint like that, not having a hook shot. So
yeah, I was trying to stay away from it, and then I looked down and saw the notes that I had made of all the hints, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Better go back.
Also, after getting through Palace of Darkness, you got the Cape and the Cane of the Cane of Burner alongside the Quake. If you would fulfill it, so at that point you even ruled out more of the chances of that being a bad unique item. So,
Yep.
but that hookshot was a very early play from Vertz, I believe.
Oh wow.
Heading over there pretty early, even before going over to Ice Palace or such. So yeah, different. Some runners, different runner, different decisions. And none of those were that bad this seed. Yeah, Vertz, meanwhile, has finished. I don't know if you already mentioned it, but taken place number 7 in the tournament, and by finishing third with a time of 1 hour 58 minutes 42 seconds.
looks like we might be having a little bit of trouble getting Senen into our commentary channel here. So I do see Senen is in the chat.
So GG's to Senen and from us as well. It was a very interesting race to see, definitely. And it could have been gone either way. So Zeitnix, you of course being the first into Gen's tower, you did check out Hope Room, but and you, after finding a small key, you did go over to the left side then.
Yeah, that's my typical play, so I just kept going with it.
So you check out Hope Room, but regardless of what you find, you then go over left.
Well, I'll do this fun thing. If I get 2 keys, I'll use one of them to walk through that door to the left. But if there's only 1 key, then it's go left. If it's 0 keys, it's go left. So yeah, it's just Hope Room, go left. That's how I do it.
Yeah, which is a little bit interesting, as quite a few people routed that way, that if you find a key in Hope Room, that they do actually take out the 4 chests on or 4 more chests on the right side, which would have been the play in the seed. But interestingly enough, none of your opponents did actually that. All of you did check Hope Room, but none did follow the key. All of you went over to the left side.
Oh wow.
So that would have been the point for Senen if Senen decided to go or continue right side. You would have been gone up the gauntlet almost in sync.
Yeah, that would have made it real tight.
Do you want to take a moment? It looks like Vertz has jumped into commentary as well. GG Vertz, good race. What'd you think?
Hey, thank you, GG, to Zeitnix and Senen as well. Man, I wish I had gone to Ice Palace so much sooner. When I finally got there, I was thinking, like, man, all I need is this fire rod, and if it's in here, that I missed a big chance to get it early. Because I seem to remember being able to get over to it immediately after Swamp Palace, and so I was a little frustrated about that. I was convinced I was going to lose by like 20, 30 minutes on this one because of that, though.
Yeah, that was also my question as well at that point that I wanted to ask you. Why not go Ice Palace earlier? I mean, it was a crystal, so you would have had to do it at some point anyway, and if the fire rod is in there, you just lose time by checking out Overworld. If you full clear Ice Palace and then have to check Overworld after it, you still at least have something you had to do anyway.
Yeah, that's true. As I was thinking through it, climbing up GT, I was like, yep, that was definitely the play. That would have helped me out a lot more than all the other nonsense that I did before Ice Palace. And I don't know, I kind of had a decision point at that point and was thinking, I've got the bow now. I can go take care of a whole bunch of stuff with that. I've had all of these other items and all these other checks for a really long time, and just kind of got baited by all of the nice green boxes on my tracker over on the left side rather than the nice crystal in Ice Palace.
Yeah. But for you as well, we maybe should mention we had 3 players here with 3 different Go mode items. So
Nice.
while you had definitely struggled with that fire rod, that hookshot you picked up very, very early on.
Oh wow, that was my go mode item.
Nice. I think I got a hint that there was a shield and a unique item in left side swamp, and I was like, that would be a good place to go right now.
Yeah, I mean, of all of our runners, you were the first one to actually go over to the Maya area, thus finding the bow, and then went straight into Misery Maya. And after that, also with a little detour to finish out Desert, you basically did head straight up into Swarm. So you definitely had that hookshot way earlier than the others.
Nice. So yeah, IP would have definitely been the play right there for sure. Well,
Yep.
So it goes. GG, everybody else.
As for Senen, overall, on the early stages of the race, I believe Senen to having having gotten the best routing, making just a little blunder by not picking up that Cane of Samaria earlier out of King's Tomb, which then would finally, or in the end, lead to a very painful hunt for that, costing quite a lot of time.
Yeah, part of the reason I went so quickly over to Meyer was that, I got the flute, I had the Titan's mitts, I had a medallion, and as soon as I got that cane before I activated the flute, I was like, yep, it's time, let's do it. It just felt like, I can clear that, I can finish Desert, everything's in line.
To jump in again one more time, we do have our final finisher, Blackwax, finishing this seed with a SRL time of 2:07:21. So GG's to Blackwax and GG's again to all our runners.
Yeah, definitely. This was a very interesting seed. It had many options, and yeah, sometimes with the seeds, if you do not make all of those Galaxy Brain plays, it can get to a pretty painful search for that last one in the end. So It had all the options, but that also gave you all the options to make mistakes. And
Yes, all the wrong options.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it.
And we have also our number 8, or our 8th place finisher of this
All the
tournament
wrong
now for an
options.
NTU hero, GG's Blackwax.
That's how I
GG,
felt
everyone.
about it.
And we have also
Oh,
our
man.
number 8,
What was that?
or our 8th place finisher of this tournament now for an NTU hero, GG's Blackwax.
I had such a hard time getting Dark World access.
You were not alone.
Like, it was 40 minutes in before I finally got Dark World access.
Yeah, you were definitely not alone with that.
All 4 of you were definitely trolled by the Moon Pearl today.
And I mean,
It was
the
the hammer was in a weird location, and
with that.
to get to it, you had
All
like
4
it didn't
of
give
you
you a
were
sword, it
definitely
didn't give you
trolled by
money
the
to
Moon Pearl
go
today.
to Zora, it didn't give you anything. It
I mean,
was like, here's a glove, here's the lamp, and here's the mirror. Go to Death Mountain, get the flute, and figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so-
lack of money at the beginning was pretty rough. I spent some time trying to get some rupees up at Zora to just cash that in. It didn't pay out anything, but I was just lack of money. 499 rupees slashing at little Zoras.
Oh, that sucks.
Just cash that in. It didn't pay out anything, but
I waited way later to do Zora, basically. I was like, you know what, if the Moon Pearl's here, I just lost.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, that Zora money wasn't even needed. What it wanted you to, or what the seed wanted you to do, was basically follow the flippers to get the myths and the book from the waterfall cave, as well as the bottle. So with the bottle, you can get the mushroom and the mirror, and then you should probably head over to desert, get the hammer, then go up to Hera, get boots, and then the moon pearl, and get Lenmo then when you finish up Maya and Vitreous. But to make all those calls, yeah, that's not easy to do.
Alright, so what was it that put me so far behind first place?
Maya and Vitreous, but to make all those calls, yeah, that's not easy to do. Can't exactly pinpoint it on
Was
one
I just
thing.
too thorough? I checked like everything.
Same.
But
Pretty
looking
much.
at the collection rates of all of the
Yeah.
runners, we have, I believe, from Zeitnix in 163 as the lowest. So all of you did check pretty much everything.
Looking
at the
collection rates of all of the runners, we have.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to nail down, honestly, just where there may have been a time loss, just because there were just so many paths and routes you really could have taken, and you guys did. I mean, you all kind of it's pretty hard to had your own ways of going about it. So it is hard to pinpoint.
Well, I know
so spread out.
Paths and routes you really could have taken, and
I know one place I could have saved time was I went and checked.
had your own ways of going about it.
I put off Pod for a long time, and I went and checked Hookshot Cave before I went and checked Pod. And so there's an extra Death Mountain climb there.
Yeah, that's one. I mean, there was one. One runner did go into Misery Maya without the Cane of Samaria, so had to step out and come back. That's one. That might have been also time loss that could have been avoided. One runner did go into.
Where was the Cane of Samaria? I don't remember.
In King's Tomb.
King's Tomb.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wow. Yeah, I had that pretty early.
That could have been avoided. But yeah, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where that's
King's Tomb, yeah.
Or where this difference comes from. So sometimes it just comes down to execution, which pinpoint exactly where that you can't underestimate it, even if you just lose 5 or 10 seconds on each of the boss fights. That adds up pretty quickly. So I mean, you are just about 15 minutes behind, and I mean that additional Death Mountain climb, let's say 2 minutes, 2 minutes of execution, and yeah, at least
Yeah.
one bigger routing issue, and that's the difference. So, I mean, you definitely should rewatch this race. This was a very interesting race to watch, and then maybe you can make out what.
That hook shot, if there hadn't been a hint, all of us would have last location that night.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have anything else left to say, no, maybe get it out now.
I think that I think it was Blackwax's idea to even put this together, so I want to thank him. I want to thank him for that. This was a lot of fun, getting all four of us together to do a 5th through 8th place match, and thanks to everybody involved in this tournament all the way through. I feel like I learned so much, and I had a great time overall. So thank you to everybody.
I agree. Yeah. So thanks, Blackwax, for recommending the idea. It was an interesting seed. So I'm glad we got the chance to run it, and I'm interested in watching it later.
I think I would have been okay going my entire life without running the seed.
Well, there you go. And I do want to echo what Zeitnix had to say about thanking the folks running things, restreamers and commentators today, but also just throughout. It's been a really good experience. And, it's been nice to join this community and just really get a good sense of how to play this game better and how to build this community together. So thanks, everybody. It's been nice to join this community.
This was definitely the seed where you could shown all of that what you learned throughout the tournament. So that was really a great idea and great seed for that. So thanks to all of you for putting this up. Shown all of that. But yeah, if you do not have anything left to say, I think we can wrap this up here. It was a very interesting race, and I want to thank all of you again for running this. A big shout out and thanks to LadyBoxthief to helping out commentating this with me here, doing the first commentary, I believe, here. And
first one.
Yeah, that on a 4-player race, that is definitely not the easiest one.
Thank you to both of you for commentating. Appreciate that.
Yep, agreed.
Thanks for racing, and thanks to Ralen as well for holding me up, because I definitely would have done terribly without you. So thank you as well.
And also big thanks and big shout outs to Vesh1978 to putting up this restream and making it able for us to bring this to all of you. So yeah, I think with that we have pretty much said it all. As for the Gomos podcast tournament, I believe the game 1 of the finals between Elias and Bomber Splits is scheduled for the 16th of August on 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to see how this tournament pans out and who gets out on top, yeah, there's your first race. Mark it down on your calendar if you want to check it out, if you want to see it. So yeah, I think that's all from us. So I was Ralen Tankir, bring you this race to you, and I hope you stay tuned and we see you next time here.